78.6 FM, Yomaton. Wow, it's good to be back. Man, 2 weeks away from the radio. It's been, I guess you can call it unnerving. I didn't know what to do with myself. No, I'm just kidding. Life still went on, man. And since we've been away from each other for 2 weeks, right? It's been a new year. Holidays have passed, and now it's game time, right? It is game time. 2021 for everybody. We just did a AFN show this week, and we talked about goal setting for 2021, and I was really excited to do it because goals for me, the difference between goals versus resolutions is a big deal to me. Trying to explain to my friends, family, and the folks that work for me, like, dude, it's cool to have resolutions because it gives you a starting point, but the goal is to create goals and an action plan, right? And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today, and I'm going to catch up with you, man. I missed you guys. I really did. I missed 78.6 FM, the staff, the radio, just being able to talk and speak life into my friends who actually tune in and listen to the shenanigans every week last year. It is a new year, guys. New vibes, new energy. I promised everybody that I know that I wasn't going to come the same way as I came last year. So we're going to switch it up a little bit today. Of course, the first segment is just to recap, right, and catch up. Every time we're going to do the same thing with that. Hey, guys, this is what it is, right? Tell you what shows I watch, right? Whatever we want to talk about the first segment. Second segment, we're going to dedicate to somebody, and we're probably going to do something a little motivational, a little change. We're going to try it again for the new year. I tested the sound this time, guys. We're going to try something else today. I'm really excited to try it with you, something a little motivational. And then the third, of course, is always dedicated to the Air Force Wounded Warriors Wellness and Resiliency Team. That is the WAR team, Wellness and Resiliency, for the third segment. So again, first segment, hey, we recapping. Second segment, we're going to talk about something. I'm going to throw something extra out there for you, something new, right? Third segment, the war team. We're going to talk about what's been going on out there with the war team back in the U.S., what we've been talking about all week out there on the page, right? Real excited about things that we have planned in 2021. Wow. I will tell you what, last year was a long year. I think 2020 felt like a decade. I promise, man. I think my hairline completely left last year. As you can see, I've been on leave for the last 2 weeks. I took some time off, and I really needed it, man. For the holiday break, and then last week I took some leave. The only thing I didn't like about taking leave last week was the fact it rained the entire time, right? And if you know me, if you follow me, you know I love to explore on my time off. I don't like sitting up in my room. I can't sit in four walls. I got to go, right? What's my joke I used to say last year? I'm like a bird that you just got to let me fly, right? What's the bird? I forget Marky Mark on that one movie said. That's me, man, a parakeet. Let me fly, whatever it was. So it rained the entire time. Right? There's nothing for me to do except for catch up on Netflix or Amazon, whatever I could watch, right? Me and Scooby watching Vikings. I think I watched a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer because there's an episode that I saw on a little website that I want to check out that I ain't seen in a long time. The cool thing about it was I saw some really cool shows. My baby brother this week, while I was resetting, recommended a show called Warrior, which is on HBO Max. And it was released, I guess it was originally presented by Bruce Lee. And now the story is just, it blew up over the last couple months. Season 2 came out last month, I believe. And it's been amazing, man, to watch. It actually was January. So the season 2 just came out. And I really had a good time with that show. I really had a good time with, what was the other one I mentioned? Vikings released a new season. And I'm hooked on Vikings. If y'all don't know nothing about Vikings, hey, that is probably the most violent yet intriguingly mentally stimulating show that I've watched in a long time. It just draws a lot of thought about, how the Vikings lived back then and how it's kind of like if you enjoyed that show Game of Thrones, right? This is very similar. There's a completely different universe, of course, and some history thrown in there as far as what we can track, right? All right, enough about me. Enough about my rainy week. Why did I take the week off? What, dude, you just came out the holiday break. What did you need another week for? I needed 4 days, 5 days just to reset, relax, get my mind geared around 2021, and figure out what I wanted to do next. Because with all the hustle and bustle of the holidays, And you guys may not realize it, but the holidays take a lot out of you. It's a lot of movement, a lot of planning, especially if you have family, if you have kids. There's a lot of things going on in the holidays, planning for, spending everything. And then work doesn't stop. So for me, I wanted to take some time coming back just to regroup. So, hey, man, I want to come out of this new year and go into it fresh. And I only thought that was fair to myself. Where I work, the entire base, we're talking about self-care. And you guys know I spoke on it a few months back. It's really important to me. And anytime I feel myself slipping or I feel like I need to regroup, I'd give myself that time. Even if it's just a day, if the day before was just too much, I need to reset. And understand, first and foremost, you're human. You're not a robot. You're not a car. Just throwing some gas in there is going to get you as a human being 100 miles. No, you need to reset and refuel in a different way. And I want to take an opportunity to reset myself in the gym, right? Physically. Took some time, even though I mentioned some shows I watched, I wanted to read some books. And I'm going to tell you, I mix it up. I ain't going to sit here in front and act like I don't read a little bit of everything. I was reading a book that I read for professional development, personal development, and I even zoned off based on talking to my little brother again into some comic books at one point in time on the Kindle. Literally, it was in the Kindle comic books and with some cool stories. I mean, I call it escapism. And if you're not familiar with that term, and if you're not familiar with escapism and the importance of it is, sometimes you got to release from everything that's going on around you. And if you follow me on Facebook, Winsome L. Cully, you'll see, not Winsome Cully, because that's my dad. And if he's listening, he will chat with you until finally he tells you it's him. No, Winsome L. Cully. And what I do all the time is I practice escapism. There's times where I either go out to the tower over here, the lighthouse, and just sit up there for a couple of hours. I go down to the beach and just watch the water with my headphones on. And people always hit me up, my friends on Facebook, and be like, hey, man, how come you don't just listen to the water and just, hear the sounds of nature? Dude, I do that too, but I mix it up. So sometimes I go out there with my headphones on. If you see pictures, you always see me my headphones and my little cap. Because normally it's cold in the wintertime here, so I wear a little cap, and because I'm bald and I cover my scalp. And secondly is because I'm usually listening to positive affirmation the entire time. I listen to something positive and take times, of course, take the headphones off, listen to the water, take it in for a little while, and then I put something positive on. And you know what I'm doing? I'm connecting positive affirmation to the positive environment. Is something that brings me peace. And it's this amazing feeling, and you feel like you're re-energized after that experience because you are escaping into something peaceful, right? Self-care, being able to do things for yourself, take time for yourself to take care of yourself, love yourself, heal yourself, right? So when I talk about self-care today, I just want to tell you that's one of the things that I took my time off to do over the last couple of days. I know it's important, and I don't tell you guys anything that I don't learn to do myself. And I will not speak that into you if I haven't spoke it and worked it and made an action plan for me. So self-care is so important. And again, that was my 4 days. It rained, so I couldn't do all that, right? So I'm in there reading comics, watching shows, catching up on all these cool shows that everybody's talking about. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came to an end. I love that show on Facebook, on Netflix. Vikings, of course, I mentioned. Checked out some Buffy. Don't clown. I know my friends are going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, the show. I went back and I rewatched some of that. Doctor Who. You guys know me. You know I was excited about the season premiere. Well, it's actually a season special episode of Doctor Who, which is bittersweet because you get to see the cast members again, but the folks split up, right? Then you find out at the end of this show that some of the folks aren't coming back, right? And that really bothered me. I was like, oh, man. I shouldn't have read the news before I watched this episode, right? Then, push come to shove, I heard that Jodie Whittaker, the main star, the doctor herself, is not coming back next season, is the current rumor. What are we doing? So, yeah, that was a little painful for me to take in the last 4 days. But anyway, I'm going to tell you the importance of mindset, positive mindset, getting yourself back in a positive mindset right now. Because it's easy with everything going on in the world today, especially right now in the United States, to get dragged into negativity. People don't realize how important it is to have a positive mindset with everything you do. Not just with work, right? Trying to approach it with a positive mindset. And how you wake up and how you approach your day, it's solely up to you. You choose. And I told you guys that all last year. You choose if you're going to have a good day or if you're going to have a bad day. You choose, no matter what happens to you, how you respond to it. And you can maintain a positive response even in the most negative situation, and it's hard, especially when you're getting hit, right? What I say in my text the other day, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that came from Mike Tyson. You walk in, I'm going to have a great day, right? I'm going to have a good day today. Today is going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. And then stuff starts happening, just piling up. The backpack you had on, everybody's throwing bricks in it. I know it happens. Something magical can also happen there that you've practiced, right? And Ann Lacey, I'll never forget, dear Ann, thank you so much for this. She used to tell me all the time at work, you can't eat the whole elephant, Winsome. Take a bite. One bite at a time. Now, I'm not a cannibal. I knew what she meant by that. Elephant's big. So I'm going to change it up a little bit and tell you this. And I told a friend this the other day. If you're walking up and you're standing right next to an elephant up on its belly, you can't see it. But when you take a step back from the elephant, you start to see more of it. You start to see what color it is. You take even another step back, you start to see even more of it. You see its belly. You take another step back. Guess what you see now? You start to see maybe the ears, and you get to the back legs, and maybe you can see the front legs. And the further back from the elephant you stand to look at it, you see it from the trunk to the tail. And what am I seeing? Why am I telling you that? You can't see the whole elephant if you just jump and run right into it. Smack face into the elephant. You got to step back and look at your situations, your problems, your scenarios, whatever's in front of you and presented to you. You have to take a step back and look at it. Because if you just try to dive right in, you may get frustrated because you haven't pieced it up and broke it down into reasonable sections. B, you might not see everything. There's so many different perspectives, angles, directions. You might be able to approach it differently. Take a step back and look at it. And thank you so much. Can't eat the whole elephant, guys. You can't see it if you don't take a step back. You have to see things, and it's okay, like I just told you last week, to call timeout. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, timeout, right? Why is that important? To know when you're at that point, you got to take a step back and look at something. For me, it's a lot of transitions. Move sections, new area, new job, new responsibilities. Everything's changing. And I knew if I just ran right into that new change, I wasn't going to be mentally ready for it. Anything, because I didn't have anything to stand on yet, anything would have knocked me over. Listen to me. If I'm going to say that for you one more time, I knew I wasn't strong enough to stand up at that point. And at that, anything would have been thrown at me. I may not have been able to stand up. It would have knocked me over easily. Remember, I told you last year, if you were listening, stand for something or you fall for anything. And a lot of things happen, especially in our job, our day-to-day, where you got to be ready. So I didn't want to walk into a situation I wasn't mentally ready for. I want to reset, take a look at it, get all my other stuff worked out, sorted, and get that transition, which is one of the most stressful situations for anybody, right? Transition. Moving, they say. A lot of people moving this year at the end of the year. So for me, moving sections, that transition, I need to call timeout, and it's okay to take a step back, pause. But another thing I want you guys to understand, positive affirmation and knowing yourself and going in a direction that's positive is important. What you say matters. And when we come back with the next segment, I'm gonna let you hear it. Yeah, not for me. I'm gonna let the experts tell you. And that's really where we're going this time. It's not all gonna be my voice or the hearing my perspective on everything. I'm going from different places now. I'm gonna try to pull it for you. See, here it's not just me talking. Either I've heard it from someone that is highly respected, or witnessed it myself, experienced it, and I want to share it. Next week, we're going to have our first interview starting up again, man. I'm really excited about that we can actually interview people here in the studio. We've already gone milestones with me being able to take the mask off, right? Steps. Chopping it up into little pieces. What are you doing? How are you speaking positivity and good things into your life right now? Or are you falling over for all this negativity that's going on back in the world? How are you being different, and how are you stepping aside from it and taking a look at the whole thing? Are you taking a step back and finding your way? That's what I want to hear. Hopefully that's what you're doing. We'll talk more about it when we come back from this break. Who are you? Who did you choose to become? Who did you say you wanted to be in 2021? That's a question a lot of people don't ask themselves, right? When they walk into the new year, they walk in with resolutions, right? They say something, but there's nothing backing what they're saying. So we talked about goal setting, as I mentioned before, and that's what we're going to talk about for the second segment. Goal setting, man. And it's one of those things that if you're not doing it, if you're not believing it, then it's not going to happen magically, right? It's not one of those things that's going to just present itself and all of a sudden you're into your goal. Goal setting takes time. It takes plan. It takes action plans. So you have to create a plan, right? See it first, create a plan, and then have action plans. And then you can't let anything distract you or knock you off course. And there's always going to be hurdles, distractions, situations, and opportunities for you to fall completely off your plan. But how do you bounce back? And that's what we talked about this week. And without further ado, man, without going into and talking about everybody else's action plans or what was presented to me, I want you guys to understand how positive affirmation and your words matter, because they really, truly do. And I don't want to be the only one to tell you that, man. We have written explicit and written permission from Team Fearless. Of course, that is Fearless Soul. And we have written and explicit permission to play their music now. So we'll be able to play songs from them. In addition to that, we'll be able to use the background music for me to speak to you with if I choose to. So thank you, Team Fearless, for the permission and teaming up with us here at 78.6 FM. Really appreciate the support and also helping to get those positive vibes out there. So without further ado, I've been talking about positive affirmation. I want you to hear from the experts, man. So Team Fearless, this is Words Matter from Fearless Soul. So that was Fearless Soul. Words matter from Team Fearless. Of course, I'm really excited to have this partnership with Team Fearless now, man. So we can play Team Fearless on YouTube without them having to cut it off. We can actually play the songs, instrumentals. Now, if that any issues for this first run, okay, cool. We'll fix it for the next one. But yeah, we got written explicit permission from Team Fearless, and they're taking care of y'all, man. Positive vibes. That was Words Matter from our family over at Team Fearless, Fearless Soul. Words matter. So I want to make sure I told you guys. So the second segment, of course, is going to be dedicated to Team Fearless, and the group that this segment is, of course, dedicated to is Amity, the Amity Women's Group for Purposeful Connections on Kadena Air Base. So if you hear me right now, the Amity, Amity, Women's Group on Kadena. You can look them up online, of course, and the spokesperson said you can hit her up on pretty much all the different sites, man. So Amity for Purposeful Connections. So I wish groups like that existed when my mom was going through a transition from divorcing my pops, as a spouse, a military spouse, to have a group or a team of ladies to pull energy from and life from, man, to be able to speak with some folks about what you're going through, good, bad, or ugly, man, just to have some other ladies that are going through as spouses or military women, strong women unity, right? So having that connection with a group of women, and I hear, from my understanding, the numbers are correct, about 300 ladies are a part of this group. So if you didn't hear me before, we're talking about Amity, the group on Kadena, women's group for purposeful connections, military and military spouses. I believe it's civilian. If you guys want to ask, I believe civilian ladies are also allowed. The site is out there. Information, you can find it online. And of course, she said you can hit her up in pretty much all the main apps and get some information if you're interested. Amity. So that's what we were talking about, man. Words matter. Did you hear that, man? Hey, my favorite part of the whole piece was when he said how, Muhammad Ali, he believed before I'm going to be a champion. He spoke that life, and what happened? The man became a champion, right? It's speaking life into who you are and what you're going to accomplish, who you are right now, who you want to be. And I used to tell everybody, who do you want to be for 2021, right? Who did you set out to say I'm going to be? Did you say I'm just going to roll out into this year and roll over from whatever happened in 2020? I hope not. Or did you say, hey, I have a plan. I'm not going to be who I was. I'm not going to feel what I felt. I want this to be a different year. I want this experience to be important to me. I want to get something out of this. I have this finish line that I want to get to. What did you say? What words were you speaking into yourself going into the new year, right? Because I stopped reading the memes. I stopped reading the jokes, because what people don't understand is behind every, what do you call it, nice, nasty meme, or it's words. So people repeating that, spreading that negativity out there, man. Oh, there's going to be another one just like, oh, I rolled into 2020 part 2. No, dude, you decide what happens with 2021. And that's what I really want to focus in on. So we talked about in here words. What were your goals? What were your dreams? You set an action plan, right? You said, I want to be, say, for example, one of mine, by February, I wanted to be scuba certified, right? I knew there's going to be distractions and interference, but I said, hey, this is my date right now. This is the finish line that I want. However, if I have to shift my finish line, then I have to make that adjustment to get there. And I have to have still a deadline for myself. Did you create those? Do you have a deadline for your vision that you have of yourself for 2021? Can't be the end of the year. What I tell you, that's a big year. That's a big elephant. You got to chop it up, and you got to give yourself more than just one. Challenge yourself. Step out of your comfort zone. What did you plan to do? So hopefully y'all had some cool things that you wanted to do this year, because you have to start changing the way you see 2021, despite COVID and all the other craziness is going on in the world. You got to find you. You got to find your place. You got to find yourself grounded. We'll be right back. 78.6 FM. This is Positive Vibes of Winsome. I'm getting back in the groove of things. It's been 2 weeks off, so I'm still getting refamiliarized with the equipment here, man. I'm really excited about the third segment. I'm always going to be super excited about this segment. This is the Air Force Wounded Warriors War Team Wellness and Resiliency segment, right? So, hey, just a quick wrap up, man. I want to make sure I go over what we talked about. Goals. This is something I send out to the fam, all my folks back home, and then, of course, people I'm close to. Smooth sailing. Life will get in the way, and that's okay. It's what you do after you encounter obstacles, hurdles, and distractions that counts. Where most people mess up is picturing their goals without considering the challenges as well. That's the difference. That's the game changer. That's where you can fall short. But if you have that identified, you're even better for it. Don't change your goal when things happen. Change your path. You may have a rocky start to getting your goals in 2021 started, but the good news is there's always going to be a new opportunities to reset. Don't quit, just find the way. And it's not how you start 2021, it's how you finish. Track your progress each week using the journal that works for you. Each week, identify your weak spots, right? Identify anything that you want to do that's keeping you off track. Make a plan to avoid the same issues the next week, man. And 100%, this is special for me. This is an important message for all of my friends out there. I stayed up last night wrapping my head around everything going on, and I woke up early with this on my mind. So I went with it. I said, stay focused even when they're not. Stay focused even when they're not. Starve your distractions and feed your focus, right? That's the line, right? That's the quote. Starve your distractions and feed your focus. That is the quote. Don't get caught up in the drama of the news, social media scandals, and people's lives on TV. You can put that same time and energy into your own life. If you change the way you look at things, things you look at change. That's the other quote. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Think about that for a second. You are the one in control of your 2021. If you look at this year as a potential tragedy, you're enabling a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're setting yourself up for failure. 2020 is over. No matter what happens next, don't bring that negative mindset into your new year. Tell yourself, no matter what goes on around me, I'm going to win this year. Say it to yourself. No matter what happens, I'm going to win. Create targets for yourself and celebrate those targets when you hit them. Run your own race and cheer for others while they're running their race, right? Because we live in a world full of competitive-minded people, there's always someone waiting for you to fail. They're waiting for you to quit, tap out, say I'm done. But guess what? There's no quitting you. Run your race. Find that second wind in your life, right? Find that's going to boost you to wherever you're trying to go for this 2021, this new year. Don't worry about who's watching you. Focus on your finish line. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I'm going to say that again. Believe in yourself. Back yourself. And love yourself. You decide what happens next. Be different. You don't have to drown yourself in everything going on in the world and online and on social media in order to be the change that the world needs. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. That's what I sent to my family. Hashtag positive vibes. Hashtag still standing. We're still here, man. And you know, the cool thing about that message is I really felt that one. And it's been something that I'll throughout the week, I'll edit and send out to friends and family. But this one right here, I woke up with that on my heart and mind, all of that. I just put it on paper. I started it mentally last night, and I woke up and put it on paper, and that was from the heart. And I don't think people understand. Like, I don't do any of this. The radio, I don't plan it. Especially like what I'm doing right now. If you're Michael Shorty Short Sleeves, you're familiar with me trying this in Greenland. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna try to speak over Words Matter. So it's something a little new. Of course, this is Words Matter from Fearless Soul. They gave us permission to do this, so I'm gonna try it. So ultimately, it's not walking into the new year saying I'm going to carry the same weight as last year. It's walking into this new year and saying I'm going to be somebody different. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be amazing. I can, I am, and I will. You see, I talked to some middle schoolers the other day, and they were so cool, man. They were asking me all these questions about my favorite athlete, my favorite food. But one of them said, "Hey, sir, what's your goal?" And I said, that is the coolest question, man. I really didn't know because I have so many things in my mind that I want to do. I guess the biggest goal for me and the biggest dream for me for 2021 vision is for me to put all of that in perspective and in an order that makes sense. I know that I'm not going to be able to do everything. I may not, but in my mind, I can. In my mind, I will. And in my mind, I'm good enough to. You see, and I always repeat those three things no matter what to myself. I am, I can, and I will. So I'm going to tell you guys this. If you're listening right now, this is for the war team. I'm trying something new for you because this is a new year and this is a new me. And I'm going to tell you, you are good enough. Don't let nobody tell you different. There's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't be, and there's nothing you can't recover from. Even if it's physical, mental, emotional, if you're trying to find yourself spiritually, you see those are those 4 legs that we have for a reason to stand on. You see, what people forget is those are also muscles. Sometimes they're atrophied. Sometimes those muscles don't work like they used to, but that's okay. We have an opportunity to strengthen them, and we're strengthening them together. You see, don't go into this new world just aimlessly thinking, hey, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. Whatever's going on in the media, I'm more interested in. Take your life back because that's all you got. And you just got one. You see, some people think that it's okay if I just waste a day here or I just waste some time here or I just waste some energy there. But the whole key is you don't get that time back. That's the one investment that you can't get back. You lose it. It's gone. So you got to make the most out of every single day. And if you got people who are negative around you or throwing negative stuff onto you on social media or in your life or emailing you or talking to you, you get away from that, man. Get that out of your life. And you tell them, I'm going to be different. I'm going to do different. And you make a statement, not by words, but by what you do. You see, it's funny. Some people don't realize how easy it is to make a change. So you can wake up right now. You can wake up off your pillow and say, hey, you know what? Today's going to be different. Today, I'm going to be different. Today, everything about my life is going to change. Not because it has to, but because I want it to. Because I want more. Because I can have more. And because I am more. It's all up to you. And if you find it in your heart, when that fire inside you is burning so bright, that is darkening or dimming the negativity and the darkness all around you. You brighten up. You're so bright that you're making that darkness go away. That's when you know you're making a difference. That's when you know that you made that and you made that move. You made that step. You've arrived to be the change. And that's what people forget. You have that power. Every one of you has that power. There's stories all over us right now of people who have taken that power from inside of them and they said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be something different. I am. I can. And I will. And you know what? I'm making a declaration to y'all right now. I'm doing that. I'm starting right now. Today is a new day. This show is a new show. This flow is a new flow. Everything's going to be different in my world, in my life. I'm showing my kids something. I'm showing that no matter what you were yesterday, no matter who you were yesterday, you can be who you choose. You're not stuck. You're not obligated. You decide who and what you're going to be next. Just because you can be whatever age and somebody says that you can't doesn't mean you can't. That means you have to work harder. You have to fight harder. You have to do more. You have to be more. And not because you have to, but because you want to and it's in you. Never give up on yourself. Truly believe in yourself. And you surround yourself with people who motivate you, push you, and make you better. If you don't hear anything else, man, make yourself better in 2021. I'm proud of you. Because you survived a lot of things that nobody thought you could. You adapted. You overcame. You're smarter. You're stronger. 2020 was easy money now because we into the next chapters. 2022, 21. I almost got my years off. Who are you going to be? What are you going to be? Pull it out of you so you can show the world what you're truly made of. It's almost time. When you hear this, hopefully y'all push somebody, move somebody, woke something up. It's game time. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Positive vibes, 2021. Told you I was gonna try something new. This is Winsome, and we out. Now I don't know how that sounded, and I don't care. You know why? Because it's from the heart. Something people don't do anymore. It's just from the heart. And keep it 100% real with you. I want to, as much as I can, do everything that I choose to do with the rest of my time. I don't know how much that is, but I want it to be from the heart. I want it to be special. I want it to be happy. I want it to be something I enjoy doing. Was I nervous about doing that? On the air, live, music for the first time? Yeah, but you know the story behind that? We've been trying to do that for weeks. My phone was broken. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I couldn't do this for the last 2 weeks before we took our break. And so to be able to do that, that's all been stored inside, mixed up, remixed. I've been wanting to do something like this forever. And now it was the test run, and you have witnessed it. So Air Force Wounded Warrior Wellness and Resiliency Team, that was the test run for you. I stepped outside of my comfort zone. I got chills right now because I haven't done nothing like that live ever. I've always had a chance to pre-record. If I didn't like it, just move on and try it again. But for you, I'm taking the same leaps of faith that I tell my friends and family to take. Try something new. And try something new. And always do something new. So one thing, if you haven't heard anything else I said, goes back yourself. Trust yourself. Love yourself enough to follow through with whatever you have planned for 2021. It's your time. Don't let nobody tell you different. Additionally, that's one. Get your goals done. Take care of your business. Two, don't get caught up and distracted with everything going on around you. Pull whatever's inside of you for 2021 out of you so you can make magic happen. Show the world. Make that statement like I mentioned in that song a little bit ago. Make that declaration. You know, it doesn't have to be by words, but by your actions and what you do. Team Fearless, thank you for that. And all those quotes, hey, man, look them up. And I would tell you those are quotes. Again, Air Force, Wounded Warrior, Wellness and Resiliency, third segment each week. That's yours. I'm going to try to throw some in there new each time. But I like that flow. I like the way we did this. Thank you to the ladies group, Amity on Kadena. You guys rock. Purposeful Connections, guys. If you're interested, look them up. The POC will get back to you pretty quick. Air Force, Wounded Warrior, Wellness and Resiliency, and the recap, man. Trust yourself. Love yourself. And do what you want in 2021. Don't let these people, situations, shenanigans going on, it doesn't matter if it's at work or at home, knock you off course. This year is going to be better than last year. And you have to believe it, you have to want it, and you have to go for it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Let me say that again. Nobody's going to do it for you. Heal from last year. This is our time to heal. This opportunity to be better than we were. Better than yesterday. Just like next week, that little music spot that I don't get to practice, I got to come in here off the cuff and test the sound. I'm going to go home and listen to it. Next week it's going to be better. I'm going to know where I left off, and I'm going to pick up. Because by the end of 2021, that's going to be fire. Let me tell you something. That's going to be fire. That was just the first try. No practice, no written down, no rehearsal, no memorized. That was just off the cuff, freestyle motivation from the heart. And I loved it. It was very fun. Sorry, I was going to say that out loud. This is a good time. This is Positive Vibe, 78.6 FM. I want to say thank you to the staff here, the ladies that get me set up every time, because every time I walk in here, I'm like the new guy, right? I still don't know how to mess with all this stuff. But thank you guys for trusting me, listening, having my back, and supporting what I've been trying to do for the last year. Thank you so much. This is Positive Vibes with Winsome, 78.6 FM. We'll talk to you next week. Goodbye. How did it sound?
Oh.